This was also plain and clear. The Shirmiya family had been right in the middle of discussions about how to distribute the inheritance when grandfather died. If this case followed the standard form of any classic mystery novel, the crime was definitely caused by someone with ties to the Shirmiya family and who was involved in the inheritance problem. Yeah, if you are to think about it, the 3 siblings died. Rosa, Rudolph, and Kraus. The only sibling left is, well, Eva, who will surely get her share of the inheritance, for sure. Kinda makes me wonder. But... nah, it kinda feels too easy. Eva had probably read a few books in that genre herself. Her argument may have had a few blind assumptions in it, but it was a standard conclusion that anyone might have reached. I mean, if I am to think back on that idea that I had before, that maybe somebody is using the servants as their scapegoats, but instead it is either one of the Ushiomiya family members, or maybe the doctor. Who knows? I think most people would end up suspecting the servants, even if they used different reasoning to get there. Especially the story about the key to the shutter. That made it very easy to suspect that one of the servants was involved.
だから、なぜか気に入らねんすよね。
気に入らないって？何の話？
あ、いえいえ、こっちの話っす。
I tried to dodge her question by joking, but I couldn't raise the sense of unease welling up inside me. After all, her conclusion was such an easy one to reach. A conclusion that anyone could reach. Yeah... again, this could be a tactic that the killer is using on us. It is pretty easy to reach the conclusion that it could be the servants. Therefore, they're using that against us, to make us not think of the other survivors. And I just couldn't be satisfied with that. If I tried spinning the chessboard around, like I'd learned from Kirie-san, this was exactly why a servant couldn't possibly be the culprit. If the servants really were the culprits, they wouldn't hide the bodies in a place connected to themselves. Why on earth would they use the Rose Garden shed if they were the ones in charge of the key that could unlock it? The police would probably immediately pursue whoever had been in control of the key. It was even possible that some other facts might come to light as a result. The more we think of the servants as the culprits, the less reason they had to carry the bodies into the storehouse. Truly. But what if they knew we'd think that, and put the corpses in the storehouse for that very reason? I mean, I'm not gonna eliminate the possibility that it truly was a servant. It would be a stupidly easy mystery at that case, but nonetheless it is a possibility. Nah, that's completely impossible. When the police come and inspect the scene of the crime, they'll probably be able to uncover many things. Now, going back to that theory that I had before that somebody is using the servants as their scapegoats. The fact that they knew the key specifically, which key would be used for the storehouse, is questionable. They would know what key to use. So, with that being said, how did they know? Either the killer is one that lived in this place, that or the killer is someone that didn't live on this island, in this mansion, but maybe asked one of the servants for the key. Either Kumasawa or Genji, and they are not gonna say anything, or Kanon. That or, I don't know, maybe we have a servant accomplice. Maybe Goda was in on something here with our killer. Maybe he was an accomplice. Thus, he would give the key to the killer since he knows very well which key to give the killer for the storehouse. No matter how carefully the culprits carried out that murder, some traces will definitely be found. I mean, there could also be Shannon. she could have been a suspect of that as well, that she was in cahoots with the killer. That or, I mean, okay, there's also the possibility that Shannon and Goda didn't know that, they didn't know what the key was going to be used on. They only gave the key to somebody, and then they got murdered afterwards, so that nobody would find out that the key was given by Shannon or Goda, and thus we will figure out who was the one that asked for the key. So that's why the killer killed them. That we're talking about some people in cahoots with the killer. In other words, they had everything to lose and nothing to gain. If you think about it this way and look at this murder game from the culprit's side, it's hard to imagine why they'd want to call attention to the corpses. Once the corpses were found, it could result in someone sending a report to the police, or it might make the remaining people more cautious, or it might make the survivors start to search for the culprit. None of these things would make life any easier for the culprit. It's just like the words of the main character's mother in a novel I read recently called Higurashi no Naku Koro ni. Nice. Every story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Actually, now that you mention that cities, like, okay, I have been told that Umineko is, well, like I said before, Umineko is a part of the series called When They Cry. So is Higurashi over here, and apparently Higurashi came before Umineko. I've been told that they don't really have, like, plot connections between each other. They are like completely separate stories. Maybe they share some elements here and there, but other than that, they are self-contained stories. But I do have to ask this: is Higurashi also a murder mystery? Is Higurashi also a murder mystery visual novel? Because I haven't been told that. Eliminating that beginning is essential for the perfect crime. Right now, we don't know where Grandfather is. We don't know if he's already become a victim or if he's one of the culprits. But this state of confusion must be beneficial to the killer. I mean, if we are to find out that Kinzo died somewhere right now, then it surely wouldn't follow the epitaph at that point. The fact that we have 6 people that died tells us that the killer is following the epitaph. If we are to find a 7th body, it is either because the killer couldn't risk being found, that or we're talking about a completely different killer that is not following the epitaph, and they killed Kinzo for some other reason. But okay, that's assuming that the Kinzo would be dead at this point, but we don't know. The culprit has absolutely nothing to gain by showing us the bodies in such an obvious way and making us all realize there has been a murder. In fact, this is the perfect place to spin the chessboard around. In other words, showing us the corpses in such a flashy way must be the culprit's goal in and of itself. So at the very least, to the culprit, the appearance of 6 corpses there meant more than the deaths themselves. In other words, the culprit wanted this murder on display. To whom? To us. And this is a message. The culprit's trying to shove something in our faces. I don't know what it is. And the killer is playing with us. They are making this an obvious crime, but at the same time, it's not an obvious crime. They are trying to trick us. At this point in time, this vulgar mass murder isn't making me feel anything except a malice directed towards all of us. Malice towards all of us. Is it? I mean, that is also a point. It could be that one of the goals is to make us confused and pin the blame on each other. Each one of the survivors has some kind of connection to one of the 6 victims. Uncle Carl's death brought Jessica the grief of losing a family member. The deaths of Dad and Kiri-san brought me sorrow, while Aunt Rosa's death brought Maria sorrow. Debatable. Goda-san's death probably shocked his fellow servants, and Shannon-chan's death brought grief both to George Aniki, who had proposed to her, and Kanan-kun, who had loved her like an older sister. Everyone known on this island has received an equal amount of sadness. Aunt Eva was sure that the servants were in cahoots. But then, how could he explain the deaths of Goda-san and Shannon-chan? At any rate, by this argument, the grief caused by the 6 deaths hit everyone but Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi. Even Aunt Eva, who had directed suspicion that the servants had acted as though she herself was beyond suspicion, could not be ruled out as a suspect. In the first place, she was able to argue that those servants were suspicious by focusing on the shutter's key. But if you look at it from a perspective of Moda and who would gain, Aunt Eva's name rises to the top of the list. Yeah, I mean, Eva definitely is a suspect. Though, if I'm to think about it again, even that would be too easy. I mean, it doesn't help that Eva talks in a way that makes her feel evil, but in actuality maybe she's not evil. She is just trying to help us.
Butler 君が何を考えてるか、おばさんわかるわよ。
わ嫌だな。内緒にしててくださいよ。あんなことやこんなことで頭をいっぱいにしてたなんて。
私がこの殺人で一番得をする。どうせ疑われるだろうから、先に自己申告しておくわ。
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely no hiding it, Eva. You would surely gain a lot out of these murders. And you probably already guessed that we are suspecting you as well, so if you can give us any pointers as to you not being the killer, then that would surely be great. I tried to dodge the issue by joking around, but apparently it didn't work.
遺産は兄弟の数で分割する。でも今や4兄弟は私一人。後宮家の全財産は全て私のものになるの。
秀吉おじさんが聞いたら、予算か言えばシャレにならんっていうところっすね。
ごめんね。どう取り繕ったってどうせ疑われるだろうからふざけただけよ。だからこの殺人は私の立場から見れば私を疑わせるためのものではないかと思ってるの。
That is a good point.
困ったことに昨べのアリバイは弱いわ。
聞かせてもらってもいいですか？昨べのことを。
バトラ君たちも知っている通り、兄弟が遺産をどう食いちぎり合うかという話し合いは深夜まで続いたわ。でも何時まで続いたかは知らない。私と主人は朝が早かったからね。もう眠くて24時を過ぎたあたりで抜けさせてもらったの。そしてゲストハウスに戻って休んだわ。
You returned to the guest house?
それを秀吉おじさん以外の誰かに証明できるっすか？いやいや、別にエヴァおばさんを疑ってるわけじゃないっすよ。
あら、どうだか。証明になるかわからないけれど、ゲストハウスに戻ってきた時、源氏さんに出迎えを受けてタオルはいるかと聞かれたわ。だから私たちがゲストハウスに戻ってきた時間は24時過ぎだと証明してくれると思うわよ。
I see. Oh, we're definitely gonna ask Genji about that.
もっとも私の仮説通り使用人たちもグルなのだとしたらこんなのアリバイにならないけどね。
確かにそうっすね。ってことは俺今真犯人と推理ごっこをしてるってことになるんすか？
でも私の名誉のために言わせてもらうけど、遺産目当てだったならこんな変な殺人はしないわよ。だって遺産相続権を喪失させるだけならどんな死に方だって構わない。むしろ事故死に見せかけた方がスマートでしょ。使用人たちを抱き込んで周到に計画していたならなおさらそうするでしょうよ。
確かにそうっすね。営利で人を殺すならそれは常に殺人に見せるべきではない。
Then again, making it an accident for 6 people in one night, that's a bit questionable.
そういうことよ。だからおばさんは今からとてもブルーな気持ちなわけ。警察には黒幕扱いされて散々調べられるでしょうね。やだやだ。
Anteva shrugged with a bitter smile. It was just as easy to suspect Anteva as if it was to suspect the servants. So if we spin the chessboard around once again, does that make it impossible for the culprit to be her? Suspicious as she is? I don't know. However, that sort of argument always works. The motive can't help us in any way. No, that can't be right. I mean, okay, let's say that Eva is not a killer. That doesn't necessarily rule out the possibility that she's in cahoots with a killer. Or she has something to do with the murder, and she knows more stuff than we do. And she is not giving us all the information for some specific reason. Maybe because of the inheritance. Knowing the motive must give us powerful clues towards knowing the culprit. That's why murderers from all time periods disguise crimes in complicated ways, cleverly preventing their motives from being discovered. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Every time I spin the chessboard around, it keeps flipping from front to back and back to front. Front to back, back, front, blah, blah, blah. It makes you all dizzy! Ah! Are my thoughts bringing me closer to the truth? Or are they... Anteva didn't want to talk any more than that, so I folded my arms and headed to the window to cool my head a little. Yeah, Shorty. Cool your head a little, Balder. This is your first time playing detective-y and all that. It can hurt at first. As I looked over the parlor, I saw George, Aniki, and the others gathered, talking. It looked like they were talking about the magic circle that had been painted onto the shutter. As Uncle Hideyoshi thought back to that time, he started drawing the shape in the margins of Maria's notebook. I see. Since Maria was second only to her grandfather in knowledge of the occult and black magic and stuff, she might understand what he meant.
多分こんな感じだったと思うで。十字架をアレンジしたみたいなマークが書かれとったんや。そしてこんな感じで外周の円を取り囲むように妙な文字がびっしり書き込まれていて、十字架の上下左右の辺とその四隅にも何か書かれていたんや。アルファベットとかそういうのとちゃうで。あれはよく言う古代文字とかいうやつや。
あと円周部の頂点に小さなマークがありましたな。小さな丸を5つ十字状に並べ、それぞれを直線で結んだようなマークでした。
ああ、確かにそんなのも書いてあったで。
You know, I like to think of all possibilities, but the possibility that I would hate the most in all this is that the characters written in the circle would mean nye, nye, Yeah, repeat it all over again. That would certainly be really bad for me. In which case, I'm thinking of a different possibility here. Maybe it was the Seagulls that wrote the letters on this magic circle. In which case, he would write mine, 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 mine. Yeah, see, it all fits.
図形的には間違いなくこれや。細かい文字はわからんが、配列はほぼ同じや。
Everyone was staring down at the shape, so I stared down at it too. From what I heard, this had been painted on the shutter to the storehouse with some material that looked like blood. I see. It sure is unsettling.
こんなわけのわかんねえもんを書きたがるのはじいさまだけだろ。まったく、どこに行っちまったんだ。
God damn that Kenjo! He is doing some obsessive waifu stuff once again somewhere. I don't know.
とっ捕まえて意味を聞き出してやりたいぜ。
Maybe he went to an anime convention. I don't know. Maybe he left the island with a helicopter or something. That or he's using his broom and he's flying away like a witch. Jessica's voice contained impatience and anger. She hadn't gone so far as to say grandfather was the culprit, but she seemed sure that grandfather knew something about the culprit's background. Of course, if you're searching for a link connecting the Ushiromiya family to a cult, 10 out of 10 people would think of grandfather. Also, to a person who knew nothing of the cult, this strange mark would have no meaning. Which meant that this might have been something addressed to grandfather. That's right. And the reason the crime was shown to the survivors was so they'd find this. In that case, where had grandfather, the essential recipient of this message, disappeared off to? Maybe Kenzo read this as well, and maybe this particular message was sent to Kenzo so that he could do something specific, but we don't know what, because we cannot read this.
こんな図形に何か心当たりはあるかい?
Maria looked at the shape with a serious face. Maybe she was enthusiastic because this was her area of expertise. However, her appearance was that of someone separated from the events at hand, as though this thing hadn't been drawn on the shutter closed around her mother's corpse.
僕の第一印象ではどこか外国の十字章に似たデザインだなって思ったかな。
ああ、確かにこんなデザインや。ということはどこぞの国と何か関係があるんか?
That? With Germany?
その国の十字章はもともと聖地巡礼者を守るための騎士修道士たちの紋章だったそうですな。
つまりこの魔法陣には宗教的な意味があるってことかよ。ますますにちんぷんかんぷんだぜ。
When I looked over at all of them, preparing to jump into discussion, something shocked me. Maria was smiling, an eerie and incomprehensible expression on her face. Maria? Why are you looking at us like that? It was almost as if she was making fun of everyone's ignorance. It was an expression I wouldn't have dreamed to find on Maria's face. And she laughed. Maria? That eerie, jarring laugh. Something I didn't want to believe was possible, even though I was looking at it right in front of my eyes. Jesus!
全然違うよみんな。こんなの見てわかんないかな。
I can totally tell you completely changed at the snap of a finger. What? While everyone was busy being scared out of their wits, Maria kept on cackling happily by herself. After a while, that laugh was suddenly and abruptly cut off. But the expression still looked like it belonged to someone completely different from Maria.
これは太陽の7の魔法陣だよ。 書かれてる文字はヘブライ語。
Jesus. That imagery. Okay.
貸して。
Maria stole the writing materials from the stunned Hideyoshi's hand. She then started drawing another magic circle with a rustle, right next to one Hideyoshi had drawn. It reminds me of the time I watched Attack on Titan. I mean, Jesus.
ね、
There.
こんな図形だったんじゃないかな。
そんな図形だった。
マリア、すごいな。さすが詳しいぜ。
Jessica tried to smooth things over by praising Maria. Maybe she wanted to confirm that this was still the Maria we all knew so well. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, either somebody is possessing Maria at this point. It could truly be Beatrice that is possessing Maria at this point. That or Maria was hiding her true colors all this time. God damn it! What did I just tell you guys? What did I just tell you about physically abusing your child? What did I just tell you, Rosa? It is because of stuff like this that we have Morakatawa! But Maria didn't answer her in any way in particular. Maria began swiftly writing unfamiliar characters in the corners of the shape. When Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo saw them, their eyes immediately began to open wide.
天地と左右に書かれているのは風化水道を司る天使たちの名。
Eh? The angels who preside over wind, fire, earth, and water?
カサン、アレル、フォルラク、そしてタリアハド。
Kasan, Arel, Portlach, Talyahad?
そして斜め四方には4代の王たちの名。アリエル、セラフ、タルシス、ケルブ。合ってる？
Even if they hadn't been able to correctly write what they'd seen, when they were once again shown something identical, it wasn't difficult for them to realize that two were the same. When Maria asked them whether it matched, Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo nodded over and over again.
間違いない。そうや。確かにこんな文字が書かれとった。なんでこんなん書けるんや。
あと演習部にも文字が書かれておりましたな。
わかってるよ。こうでしょ。
Maria quickly began to surround the circumference with more Hebrew writing.
旧約聖書の詩編第116編の16節と17節だよ。
The Old Testament.
聖書くらい読んでなきゃ。
Jesus Christ, don't tell me that we're talking about demons here. Okay, don't laugh like that. Acting as though knowing this was only common sense, Maria laughed. For a while, everyone, including me, was at a loss for words. A little later, Judge Aniki returned to his senses and slowly managed to speak.
すごいね。驚いたよ。それで、この魔法陣にはどんな意味があるんだい？
太陽の力を借りる魔法陣だよ。
The power of the sun?
黄金で描き、護符にして身につけたる者はいかなる牢獄であろうとも束縛から逃れ自由を得られる力を授けられる。
Magic circle. He who wears it as a talisman drawn in gold shall be able to break free from the bonds of any prison and receive the power to gain freedom. I'm not following.
束縛から逃れ自由を得られる。意味深だぜ。
この束縛という意味は何も肉体的なものだけを指さないと解釈されている。だから縛られて牢屋にいる人ばかりに意味があるわけじゃないよ。 しがらみや逃れ得ぬ運命など精神的な束縛からの解放も意味してるんだよ。
しがらみや逃れ得ぬ運命これまた意味深だな。
しかしさっぱりわからん。それとあの6人の遺体とどんな関係があるっちゅうんや。
Yeah, I'm not seeing any connection here.
束縛からの解放どころか殺された上に倉庫に閉じ込められてたんやで。
別にその6人のために魔法陣が描かれてるわけじゃないね。魔法陣のために6人はそこにいるんでしょう。お気の毒だよ。
どういう意味だい？魔法陣のために6人がいるってのは一体。
Maria lifted her pointer finger and waggled it as if she were making fun of us.
それは演習部に書いてるよ。読めないかな。
Well, no, clearly we cannot.
詩編第116編16節と17節。読んであげるよ。主は私の枷を解かれました。私はあなたに感謝の生贄を捧げ、主の皆を呼ぶでしょう。
The Lord!
ねって何を言ってるのかさっぱりだぜ。
生贄だってのか。
If Maria had just read out loud, if Maria had just read aloud was a vital part of the magic circle. It was saying that sacrifice had to be offered in order for this magic spell to be effective. I mean, it does connect to the epitaph as well. It says that these were sacrifices. The 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. So in turn, that would mean that the Lord is the key. Who is the Lord in that case? So human sacrifices had been offered inside the storehouse, where the magic circle had been drawn. A heartbeat later, everyone else seemed to reach the same conclusion. Some people were shocked, and others spat out that this was insane as they punched their knees. And this was starting to get incredibly disturbing. And we couldn't accept it or understand it. I don't care what kind of magic circles or curses other people believe in, I won't pick a fight with them. But did they really kill Dad and the rest as sacrifices for crap like that? I just couldn't stand that feeling. Compared to this, I preferred it when we were still disgusted by that theory about the fight over the inheritance. As I started getting pissed off with a feeling between anger and sadness, I broke from the circle everyone was in and returned once again to the window. Something had gone insane since yesterday. There was that letter from the witch, Beatrice, that Maria had read aloud at last night's dinner. Ever since that point, it feels like like this whole mansion and this whole island have been getting more and more firmly locked inside some kind of bizarre world. Yeah, you know, this really tiptoes between your typical classic murder mystery story and the fantasy of some sort. What in the world is going on here? That's right. When I think back on it, that letter was an invitation from the witch. The ruler of the Nightmare Island had invited us inhabitants of the day into another world. The phone and the radio had been interrupted and the island was shut off by the typhoon. So you really could call this place another world cut off from the real one by now. Eh? Yeah, as this island is now. It's perfectly normal for a witch to send us letters and for human sacrifices to be offered for the sake of magic circles. So, what will happen next? Will some weird people wearing goat masks start doing the Bond Festival dance or something? Are we gonna have Cthulhu as part of our cast over here? Because that seems like a possibility at this point. It's hopeless. It's hopeless. I don't get it. Instead, my head's all screwed up, and I don't even know what to think. Anger, sadness. The opposing emotions all swirled up together, and they started to suck me in. Not to resist. I could do nothing but cover my eyes with my hands and trust my mind and body as I started getting sucked in.